Hello, this is Keith again. To show you what I've added to the editor since my last editor video, and actually quite a bit. Well, it's quite a bit of work, even though it doesn't seem like much. Anyways, it's the sprite tab. Now, in my system, what sprites are animated or still animations, or still images that comprise of all the visuals that you see on an entity. So as you can see here, the sprite properties, it's basically composed of animations. Now, animations aren't strictly speaking the actual animations. They're actually another structure that contains the animation elements. If you noticed, walk right element, walk left element, this particular animation, this walk right animation, is using the walk right element. So you can add it or delete it. Delete from, add to, let's see. And so basically, that's really all an animation is. And the animation element here is really the animation itself. Just to explain some of the properties here, sprite sheets, like I did with the tile sets, the sprite sets have to be preloaded because XNA is handling the loading of the images. So basically, you can change which image that it's using. For instance, changing it to none means that this is gray, turns into a gray box. It means that there's no image assigned to the particular element. Or I can go down here, let's change it to this. If you notice, it's a little bit off, this little weird little line and these two frames and stuff. It's because the hypno walk animation is for the main character, and the dummy one is for the... Here, let's do this. Let's see what we've got here. See? It's just showing parts because it's calculating it for the dummy one whose dimensions are 96 by 96. Anyways, you change that. You can change the parent. The parent is kind of a cool feature, and actually, after testing it out, I found out that it is kind of screwed up, and I have to fix it again. But it was working in an earlier version, and I'll fix it again. But basically, you can parent other animation elements to this one, so that you don't have to reanimate the whole thing over again. For instance, this guy, the animation of him walking, if he was carrying a club or a basketball or a sword or whatever, I could use the same walking animation and add the basketball and the sword as elements, and parent them to this element. And if you notice, I corresponded the animations with the animation elements directly, and I just basically did that to simplify things. Obviously, you need to add parented animation elements to the same animation, but like for instance, I was going to say walk right and walk left are two separate animations. They're just happen to be using the same elements, or maybe not the same elements, because I've got a bunch of deals here. For instance, you can flip them horizontally and vertically, and by the way, that will actually flip the see, and you can't see that because it actually flipped him out of the way. But you can flip them. the animation direction, forward and reverse, looping. Looping might not be really that important, so probably might deprecate that. I might remove it or whatever later. Because most of the time, like if you're the main character walking, you're gonna keep telling it to walk, to keep telling it to play, and to stop when you stop, or to change or whatever. So I might not have any use for looping. Then again, if I figure out how to make animated tiles, they might be looping, like fans or spinning or something, whatever. Anyways, now most of this is pretty self-explanatory. Your name, you can bring the guide input box down and type in a new name if you want. Number of frames per second, width and height respectively. The grab positions are where in your image to grab the particular where to start to grab the cells from. For instance, 1 through 4 in a row. This would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. If you have more than if you have like rows and columns, you can start this anywhere along the daily. Say you had 4 rows of 4 different animations, and you wanted the second one, you'd set this to 1, stuff like that. You can start it anywhere, and it will grab all the frames from there on. So that means you can use one as large a sprite sheet as you need, and can get many animations off of it. This parent and anchor stuff is a little bit tricky to explain, but the way I'd like to explain it is pin the tail on the donkey. The anchor is the position on the tail that your pin goes through. Basically, it's the point on the element that you tack to, that you put other places or whatever. So if you set it in the middle of your image, of your frame, it would move it up into that position, which means then you're placing the image from the center instead of from the upper left, which is traditional. The parent position is where the element is attached to the parent. So if it's pin the tail on the donkey, the pin is your anchor. The parent position is the donkey's backside, basically. Okay, so that's pretty much all that there is to that. Here you can change it. You can see I had to rearrange this a little bit to make room for this, and it's not the greatest looking, but I tried the best I could, doing things from scratch and all that stuff. Red, green, and blue, that's your non-sprite image. See, it changes back to that. So if you change it back to that, then there's blocking and platform. I didn't explain before, I don't think. It had to do with stopping other characters from bumping into the character, and the platform thing doesn't work quite right, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I made these purple because they correspond to each other. If you turn off gravity, then you can't mess with this, but if you turn it back on, you can mess with that. Active, inactive, see? And that's pretty much all there is to it. So thanks for watching. Come back next time, and I'll actually have the state stuff changed so that you can add animations and stuff to it, and so that you can just change states and you don't have to manually mess with that. Goodbye.